board meeting to order. Since we just did the Pledge of Allegiance, I think we can, I don't think we need to do that a second time. So we'll move on to the roll call.
Mrs. Banis Clemens,
Here.
Mrs. Cullen,
Here.
Mrs. Dolan, Ms. Kaveri,
Here.
Mr. Kraus,
Here.
Mr. Rice,
Here.
Ms. Thompson,
Here.
Mrs. Walters,
Here.
Dr. Yarnell.
I just want to inform the group that Dr. Yanal has texted me, and he is running late, so he looks like he can join us while the meeting's in progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Student recognition.
Good evening, and welcome everyone. I feel like I say this every month, but I have wonderful news again to share about both our students and staff, but I'll start with our student end. I have information tonight to share both about academics as well as athletics, and I hope that it makes you as Pennridge proud as the rest of us in the audience. First, I have some great academic success to share with you. For a high school student, perhaps the greatest academic achievement and award that a high school student can earn is being recognized as a National Merit Scholar. I'm thrilled to announce that Pennridge High School has 4 students who are named Commended National Merit Students. These 3 young men and 1 young woman have placed in the top 3%. Again, that's the top 3% of more than 1.6 million students who took the exam nationwide. This is based on their junior year 2017 preliminary scholastics aptitude test, better known as the PSATs. And so I want to call the students up front, and I want us to all join and congratulate them for the wonderful honor that they've had. So if you would please stand and come to the front of the stage. When I call your name, I would appreciate it. First, Nicholas Eisler. Well, that was anticlimactic. Second, Thomas Geiger. Alana Lee. And David Scavuzzo. Okay, yep.
Nick, I think, might be a track today. He's a track star.
Okay.
If you want to come out
I have more nice things to say about him, but we can start this way.
Tom, could you come out a little bit? This way we want to make a line going across the top. There you go. Alana, come on out.
Okay,
There you go.
everybody can see.
Perfect. Okay, 1, 3, 1, 2.
All right, don't move. There's still some parents.
There's still more.
Right? Come forward if you need to. Yeah. You don't get a lot of these opportunities. Tap the button. You get to do it. I don't get any better look. Stay here. One more second. I'm going to use this one.
I do want to congratulate the 3 of you for your hard work and your dedication, and we really do look forward to the successes as you take your next steps. But I want to also ask for the parents and other family members and friends of these 4 students to be here to stand and please be thanked, because we know that this type of accomplishment takes tremendous support. So if you're here to support one of these students, if you would please stand, to be appreciated. Thank you. Next, I have two pieces of news to share that combine both academics and athletic. We have multiple students who were recognized for their accomplishments both in the classroom and on our sports teams. First, one of the things I learned is that each season there is one scholar athlete recognized from each sport for their in-classroom and on-field or court performance. A photo and listing of all of those 14 students from the 14 fall sports were selected and can be found on our website. But a spoiler alert, both Alana Lee for tennis and Tom Geiger for cross country are already on the list. So 2 of the 14 are here. So congratulations, Alana and Tom, and thank you for being here. We also recently had 19 students who were representing 9 different sports who signed their national letters of intent to continue their academic and athletic pursuits at 16 different Division I colleges and universities. The colleges and universities were both local and national and included the University of Pennsylvania, Temple University, Bloomsburg, where my parents met, fell in love, and got married, St. Joseph's, Westchester, Dickinson College, the University of Florida, the University of Miami, and the United States Naval Academy. This honor recognizes both the academic preparation that these students have received at Pennridge, as well as the athletic training and competition they have been a part of. A photo and listing of these students is also available on the website. But I know a few of them, especially from the soccer team, are in the audience. So if you're one of those 19 students who signed your letters of intent, would you please stand so you can be recognized? That's a pretty good percentage. Nice job. The final student recognition tonight is an athletic success to recognize and celebrate. We're joined this evening by head coach Miss Aubrey Anderson, as well as one of her assistant coaches, Mr. Grant Miners, and the Pennridge women's soccer team. An overview of some of their accomplishments for this year. Overall, their record was 21 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. They were the champions of the Continental Conference. They were the state finalists, losing only in the state championship game 1-0 to Souderton. This is the second time this decade that the Lady Rams have been in the state championship game. 9 of the young ladies, and remember they only play 11 at a time, were chosen for the all-conference team. Those 9 young ladies were Sarah Williams, Abby Groff, Maddie Anderson, Mary Kate LaVush, Ashley Grober, Lindsay DeHaven, Lauren McIntyre, Molly Groff, and Nicolette Harrison. On top of their athletic accomplishments, they also raised $4,318 for the Grandview Health Foundation's Breast Cancer Support Fund. The team raised the money through t-shirt sales, raffles, and pledges for each goal scored and shutout recorded during the season. I learned during one of the check ceremonies over at Grandview with a couple of the young ladies that Pennridge student groups have donated nearly $10,000 to Grandview Health just this year, and nearly $40,000 over the past 5 years combined. I want to congratulate the team on their accomplishments, both on the field as well as through their giving back to the community, and to thank them for the examples they've been to other Pennridge students and athletes. Ladies and coaches, if you would come forward to be recognized. Nice job. The trophy has to be here, right? Does it take 2 of you? Is it that?
Come up there for a little bit. Everybody fill in. That's it. Coming over.
Christy, come on.
Yeah.
Yellow trophy being all over. You guys are getting used to this now, right? I've seen lots of pictures just like this, right? Where like the thumbnails on the end.
Bunch of trophy.
You're fine. Don't want you. Congratulations, ladies.
My final student recognition is to announce that we have 4 students who will be representing Pennridge in the Bucks County Music Educators Association County Orchestra in March. I want to congratulate senior Nolan Jameson, junior Travis Geisler, and freshmen Caitlin Chun and Julie Kim for their accomplishment in representing Pennridge in March. So congratulations, men and women.
Okay, next up is public comment. According to Policy 903, we remind everyone of the following. Public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise specified by the board. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and note their name and municipality. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer rather than to individual board members, district employees, or members of the public. A speaker may speak once during each comment period. Please note that these sessions are designated for comments to protect the confidentiality and privacy rights of all members of our community. The board encourages members of the public to direct any comments regarding particular individuals such as students or district employees privately to the superintendent or other appropriate administrators or board members, or to communicate with the board and superintendent privately by sending an email to psdschoolboard@pennridge.org. Questions raised and not addressed may be followed up at a later time. Are there any public comments? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move on. Okay, next up is the President's Report. I just have one point of pride that I would like to share. I recently got to go into the Sellersville Elementary School and actually get to observe some of the new reading curriculum being implemented, and the passion of our teachers, the passion of our students learning. It was really just exciting to see all of that play out, and to hear too that it was our Sellersville teachers and reading specialists who actually asked to do the reading. They wanted to do the reading, to pilot the reading program this year, even though they were in their first year of rolling out the writing program, which is a lot of extra work, but they were so passionate about it and felt that they went so well together and that it was such a benefit to students that they took on that extra work and wanted to do that for their students. And when you go into those classrooms and you see the teachers and how excited they are, and they're sharing all of the details and you know how much it's helping their students. And between going to Sellersville and going to West Rock Hill, where they were piloting the writing program last year, every single classroom, every single student is engaged and passionate about what they're doing. And that's just so exciting to see, every single student. And you know, it's just amazing, because I think, you know, people think that we're, you know, that we're taking fake students who are you know, in an acting program or something and putting them in a room, because they're all engaged, and it's just amazing to see the excitement and the progress and hear about the stories of the success that these students are having and how much of a difference the programs are making. So thank you to the staff over there. Thank you to Dr. Scheid and Stephanie Washam, who's not here anymore, but who brought this to us. So, you know, thank you, all of you, for everything that you've done. It's really making a big difference in our schools.
You're very welcome, and we are filled with pride about what is going on in the classrooms, and we just expect it to continue with the other schools as we progress through this program. But I'd like to take the time to thank all board members for supporting it. Without you, we cannot move forward, as you've done with the STEM program, you are doing with the literacy program, so our thanks to you.
Next up is the superintendent's report.
I just want to add one thing about the reading pilot, just for information for the rest of the audience. We're looking to expand the pilot for next year, and so we're going to increase the number of teachers and the number of classrooms. That will also give us a second year to finalize the new writing program at the elementary level and not give teachers multiple things that are brand new for 1 year. And so then we'll be seeking board approval next year, assuming that the pilot continues to go well for full implementation in the district for the 2021 school year of the new reading program that Ms. Davis Clemens was speaking about. I want to also take an opportunity to introduce, because he's here tonight, our interim reading supervisor. So Mr. Matt Sadowski, if you would stand up and say hello, we appreciate it. Welcome, Matt. No pressure, but Matt's the one who's going to continue to guide the reading pilot going forward. And I'm sure he will do a great job.
Thanks so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
So as if there hadn't already been enough wonderful Pennridge stories, I have one last story to help you make happy and proud that involve a few of our staff members. Tonight we have with us Mr. Matt Cole, the principal at Pennridge North Middle School, and 3 teachers from North, Ms. Lauren Caprioli, Ms. Deanne Rankin, and Mr. Maurice Stokes. Earlier this fall, this team of teachers had the opportunity to compete and win, I might mention, in a Fox 29 show called The Clash Room. It's a trivia program where they bring together teachers and students from the same school to compete for the trivia title. But this recognition has nothing to do with the trivia prowess of the North team, although, again, I mentioned they beat the students, but instead what happened after they won. So some of you may have seen this covered on Fox 29, but there was about a short 3-minute piece they did on Fox 29 regarding this, and so board members and cabinet members, you do have it as a link. I'll just remind you to make sure that your computers are silenced so that you can watch the video while Mr. Ferry plays it for the audience to be able to see.
While you're at it, by the way. Some local teachers competing on Fox 29's new game show, The Classroom, realized some of their colleagues could use the prize money a lot more than them. And so with the exchange of $500 came new friendships and an important life lesson, for goodness sake. Here's John Henderson.
I look forward to highlighting the partnerships in the future that you have begun with John Berry Elementary School. Would you come forward and be recognized by the crowd? Thank you.
Was it a fun experience?
Oh, it was a blast.
Was it
It
fun?
was a really good time. It was a really good
Oh,
time.
awesome. The kids were.
Just to
So like that's what they
see
highlight,
us.
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have fun.
We okay, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. I can do 1, 2, flip them here, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Right,
you.
congratulations.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks.
And finally, for the superintendent report, I would like to next recognize one of the most important partnerships that exists in the school district. The Pennridge Community Education Foundation, or PCEF, was founded in 2008, so celebrating its 10th anniversary, and provides resources and supports that directly benefit our students and staffs. They are a dedicated group of hardworking volunteers, and I wanted to thank them for their service to the Pennridge community and give you an opportunity to learn a little more about them. Joe Ferry, our district public relations coordinator, as well as a PCEF board member, is here to tell us more about this wonderful organization. Thank you, Mr. Ferry.
No, thank you, because I really appreciate you and the board giving me this opportunity to shine a light on an organization that is really near and dear to my heart. Not long after I joined the district, Dr. Kish asked me to look into what it would take to start an education foundation. That we are here nearly a decade later, making a real difference in the lives of teachers and students is a testament to hard work, as Dr. Bolton said, a real passion for public education, and more than a little bit of stubbornness, because there have been a few times along the way that we considered folding up shop. But in the end, we always felt that what we're doing is too important to give up. I'm pleased to announce that just recently we passed $50,000 raised, and that tonight I'll present a check for $1,000 to the district. It represents our 5th payment of a $10,000 commitment to the stadium sponsorship. So that tells you a lot of where we've been. What I'd like to do is use our website, our brand new website, to explain what we've done and what we intend to do over the next few years. Dr. Bolton, you did a good job explaining who we are or what we are, but I want to tell you a little bit about our board of directors. As you can see, we meet once a month at 8:30, the first Saturday of each month. And we've been meeting at the Penn Community Bank on Market Street in Percy. However, after this last meeting we had, and the Down to Earth Cafe is open right across the street, I have a feeling we might be meeting there from now on. I want to introduce a couple of our board members who are in attendance tonight. Mr. Ron Smith is our president. He's a former Pennridge teacher. Becky Schlatter is vice president of our organization. She has a parent who has been with us since the beginning. Thank you, Becky. Also, Kathy Donovan is our treasurer, former school board member, and another person who's been with us since the beginning. Just mentioned a couple other names who are on our list. Patty Yost, you might recognize her name from her theatrical productions at Penn Central. Sandy Kramer, a parent who just joined us. Christine Yardley, former board member, and another one who's been with us since the beginning. Former Penn Central principal Tom Rudder. Glenn Wonder, who is a teacher at Central and a recent recipient of our Friend of Education Award. So what I want to do is...
Can you all stand one more time?
What I'd like to do is go back to our homepage on the website, so board, if you want to go back to the homepage, I'm going to go through each of the individual activities that we do. Okay, the most important thing we do, and we have some of our recipients here tonight, is our Classroom Innovation Grants. This is where we see the fruits of our labors. Each year, teachers can apply for up to $1,000 toward innovative classroom programs that will enhance learning for their students. As you can see, there's a list here. We have funded a wide variety of initiatives at every level. My personal favorite is a microloan project we funded at Penn Central very early on in our existence. We provided them with $1,000 to use as microloan seed money for student fundraising projects. I don't have the exact numbers, but we think that original $1,000 has been turned into $7,000 or $8,000 worth of charitable donations, and they still have the original $1,000 to lend out each year. So I think that's one of the coolest things we've ever done. All told, we've awarded 41 grants totaling a bit over $28,000. And we have some of our grant recipients here tonight. We're going to bring them down for a picture in a couple minutes. Okay. The way we raise that money for the grants is through our lovely evening. There are two components to a lovely evening. We present our Friend of Education Award, and you should look for our call for nominations early in January, and a showcase of our musical and theatrical talents of our students on the stage at the historical Sellersville Theater. Typically, we'll have a performance from the chamber ensemble, the concert choir, the a cappella group, selections from the spring musical, and the jazz band. Our 9th annual event is scheduled for Tuesday, April 30th. Tickets are only $20. You get all that entertainment, plus a complimentary dessert reception before the actual event starts. So look for some publicity about that coming out after the first of the year. Another thing we do is a partnership with the Perk Restaurant to provide a Future Leader Scholarship. Twice a year, the Perk donates 10% of everything sold on our night. We have been providing $500 scholarships each year in partnership with the Perk, but we hope to increase that to $1,000 for one person, or perhaps two $500 scholarships as people become more aware of our nights. Our next one, put it on your calendar, April 1st, 2019, from 5 to 9 p.m. Our graduation raffle is something we just started last year, and it was successful beyond our expectations. For $5, you're entered in a raffle for premium seating and reserved parking, and a $75 food voucher at Stabler Arena. I know last year's winners were very happy to have those accommodations. Another thing we're doing are the SAT prep classes. We can thank Christine Yarley for this one. She arranged a partnership with Catalyst, a company that offers SAT and ACT boot camps. We take care of all the arrangements and the marketing in return for a donation based on the number of registrations, and again, that has been very successful for us over the last couple of years. Finally, we have our Educator Appreciation Program, which allows parents to make a donation to PCEF in the name of their child's teacher a couple times during the year. We just sent our holiday appeal today. One thing not included on our website is the Education Improvement Tax Credit, and it has the potential to be a game changer for what we do. EITC is an opportunity for businesses to redirect all or some of their state tax obligations to the foundation to support specific state-approved programs. For example, in its simplest form, a business could make a $10,000 donation to the foundation, receive a $9,000 credit on its state taxes. We are in the process for the EITC program of identifying 3 initiatives that would benefit our students and at the same time qualify for EITC support. We'll let you know how that progresses. And while it's not EITC, on Wednesday, in conjunction with the grand reopening of the Percy McDonald's, the franchise owner is going to donate $1,000 to the foundation. And I think that's the beginning of a potentially mutually beneficial relationship with that particular business. So that's PCEF in a nutshell. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and of course on our new website for updates. I would be remiss if I did not issue our appeal for volunteers. We can definitely use your time and talents in a variety of ways. We're always looking for fresh ideas about how we can be more effective on behalf of our students. If you have any questions, myself or any member of the board will be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Mr. Ferry, Mr. Smith, Ms. Donovan, Ms. Schlatter. I'd like to mention Mrs. Cullen, who is the board representative to the PCEF, as well as those members who are not here tonight. I just really want to thank you for your hard work and dedication. It's a really wonderful thing that you do that impacts a lot of classrooms. The sampling tonight of the grant winners who are here is just one sampling of those 41 classrooms and the hundreds and thousands of kids that you impacted based off of the work that you've done. So on behalf of the district and on behalf of the classrooms that have awarded those grants, I just really want to thank you for the work that you do. And I would ask if the grant winners and the board members would come down and let's get a picture with a big check. Mrs. Cullen, how are you doing? Thank you.
Who wants to be in the front holding the check? Volunteers?
I'll hold it.
Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. You've gotten 5 of them.
Who's going to take the picture, though, Joe? Hold the check with me. Wait. Get your hand on the check.
Stand it back here where I looked at. If the check moves forward, I think people could get behind the check. There we go. There we go. Squeeze in. That'd be difficult. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for all of your effort and for giving up your Saturday mornings, which hopefully will become a little bit better if you move to the cafe. And for those of you who have not been to a lovely evening, it really is incredible. The talent that you see there from our students, it's just amazing to see what our students can do. So if you haven't been there, you really need to get there.
I also learned that if you show up at the 8:30 meetings between the months of April and October, it's right by the farmer's market. So it was perfect, so you can have breakfast, go over for lunch, it worked beautifully. The last thing I have this morning is to recognize a donation. There was a $500 donation made to Bedminster Elementary for technology, that they're in the process of deciding what that is. It was donated to them by Mr. Gary Schiff, who has been part of the Bedminster family for 10 years. He's a retired teacher who joins them each week for 2 afternoons. He has unique skills in teaching math to young children. He has experience with the Everyday Math 4 program, and he works one-on-one with first, second, and third graders on skills denoted by their teachers. He has not only an expertise in math, but also amazing characteristic in that he's gentle, kind, and funny. The students love working with Mr. Schiff and love being there and have an opportunity to do math with him one-on-one. So thank you to Mr. Schiff for his donation to Bedminster Elementary. And that's all I have for the report.
Okay, since we do not have our student liaison, we're going to move on to the consent calendar. I will make a motion to approve the consent calendar, items A through I.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Cullen. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0. Next up is the committee reports. First is activities. Mrs. Cullen?
Thank you. The Activities Committee met on November 5th. The highlights of the Activities Committee, well, the highlight probably was the graduation survey results, and the result was that we'll be staying at Stabler Arena. And then we did also talk about the calendar, which is another popular topic. And both of those things are on board docs if you want to access to see the minutes or the notes of the November 5 meeting. And then the next activities meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 7th.
Thank you. Next up is curriculum. Mrs. Cullen?
Okay, thank you. There are a couple of motions. The first one is a motion to approve a few curriculum proposals. The elementary reading that we talked about earlier, a technology certification, the AP capstone, and then level 1 and 2 ESL student science course. Looking for a second.
A second.
Second.
Seconded by Dr. Yarnell. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor?
Wait, I'm sorry, I was waiting for other people. I did want to just mention about the AP capstone, for anyone who wasn't at the curriculum meeting. It's really exciting. I'm really excited about that and glad that it's coming to Pennridge. It's going to give our students a leg up when they go to college. So if we get approved, right? I guess it's pending approval, but I like to think positively, and so it's going to be something that's really great. And the certification for the computer applications is another thing that will serve our students well because it makes them a little bit more employable. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, then we have a motion to approve the Pennridge School District level comprehensive plan dated July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2022.
Okay, I'll second. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
Okay, and the next curriculum meeting is scheduled for December 10th. Thank you.
Okay, next up is facilities. Since Mrs. Dolan is not here, I will just go through those. I'm going to make a motion to approve, or a motion to obsolete items A through H. Seconded by Mr. Kraus. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0. The next Facilities Committee meeting is scheduled for January 8th, 2019. And just to note, just a reminder, the December meeting that was originally scheduled is canceled, so there is no Finance or Facilities meeting in December. Next up is the Finance Committee. I'm going to make a motion to approve the contracts A through M. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Walters. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for January 8th. Next up is the IU. Sure.
I just want to make one comment around the Finance Committee. For those of you who were not able to attend the November 13th committee meeting, I would suggest that you take a look online at the recording. Mally, who is our auditor, came in and did a presentation on the audit for the past school year, and I have to say that it was just wonderful information. So this is the 14th year that Mally has audited the district, and every year they do a sampling of funds and look at our protocols and the way that we handle cash. our student organizations, as well as all of the district accounts. And there has never been a single audit finding during those 14 years, and that's something that really Pennridge should be proud of from that standpoint. So as they reported the general fund is sitting at about $9.4 million, which is under the 8% of the budget or expenditures, which is the guidelines that the state put in place. But it also puts us in a healthy situation if there were to be emergencies or priorities that the board would like to set moving forward. As well as last year, we were appropriately under budget to the tune of about $3.9 million, and that allowed us to transfer that to capital projects and has allowed the board to continue to fully fund the district's 6-year capital projects plan, which is very unusual for a school district, to have that plan of that length, but also for it to be fully funded for the 6 years. So that, again, is something to be proud of. So I do want to thank the department that works most directly with that. I mean, obviously, the principals and department heads maintain and set budgets and maintain their spending, and so they do deserve some thanks. But it is the people in the district business office who appreciate and work with this every day. So those people are Faith Gonay, who is our bookkeeper, Karen Gossard, who is our payroll clerk, Judy Dominic, who does accounts payable, Jane Ducey, who is our tax clerk, Jackie Schuler, who is our administrative assistant, and both Amelia Gorbalski and Amy Light, who are directors of finance, as well as Mr. Sean Daubert, who is our business administrator. So, Sean, on behalf of all the people who you work with and on behalf of the district, I want to thank you for your work and for a wonderful audit report. So, good job.
And the next committee report is the IU. The IU met on Tuesday, November 20th, and the next meeting is scheduled for January 15th. I just had a few things I wanted to highlight. It was an interesting meeting because once a year we get to travel to one of the schools that one of the IU schools and see see where our kids are learning and the success that's going on in our buildings. And so we traveled to Samuel Everett, which is a school for kids with intensive emotional support needs. And so we got to take a little field trip from Doylestown on a bus, so it was really a neat experience. They recently, in the last year or two, moved to a co-teaching model, and they shared the great deal of success that they've had since they've switched to a co-teaching model, and talked about how they had built professional development into their day and how much of an impact that has had on them. Another highlight is the Leadership Development Fellowship Program, and superintendents from each school district nominate 2 representatives to participate in this program, and it's a great leadership program to help develop people who are looking to move up in administrative positions and take on leadership roles. And part of that entails having superintendents from throughout Bucks County come and give presentations and be the guest speaker on a monthly basis. It helps them with interview techniques and improving their resumes. So it's a great support and helps to develop our employees here in our districts. I think they're getting ready to start their 3rd cohort on this. Another interesting, we got a presentation about specialized transportation, which is much more extensive than I realized. And in order to get child passenger safety technician certification, you have to undergo 4 full days of training. And I was surprised by how complicated it actually was and how many different restraint systems they have and the detail that they have to learn to get that certification. And it deals with the physiology of students and how different students are impacted differently, the ages of the students, the size of the students. And so it was really interesting, and we got some demonstrations on that, which was also a great learning experience. We had the craft fair on October 27th, which benefited their education foundation. Almost $500,000 in grants have been distributed to date. several tables of exceptional items that were hand-created and crafted by IU students with special needs were also part of that craft fair. And some examples of some of the things that the students were doing was creating paper from pulp, jars with everything you need to create a hearty soup or a batch of cookies. They created decorations, holiday decorations, candles, framed nature photography, folk art, wooden wall plaques. They also strive to incorporate students' families into reinforcing the skills that their students are learning. Michael Petroi, and I hope I'm not butchering his name, actually has his own business now with his parents. He loves his dog and helping in the kitchen. His parents incorporated these skills and passions into a little business called Michael's Bakery, which makes gourmet pet treats and supports keeping him involved and keeping his skills sharp. He works with his mom to bake all the treats, to package them, and attend events where they can sell them. They even enlisted fellow student Travis Goodman as his cashier. Pennridge was also one of 3 districts sharing our journey to bring STEAM to all students. At the first annual STEAM Illuminated Conference, highlighting middle school STEM courses, there was a keynote presentation from Ben Smith on the four strands of STEAM: build, code, create, and design, as well as different activities to participate in. So lots of great things happening there. And again, the next meeting is scheduled for January 15th. The next committee report is personnel. Mrs. Walters?
Okay, I have 2 items up for approval tonight. The first one is a motion to approve Mr. Matthew Sadowski as interim elementary supervisor of humanities, effective December 4th, 2018, at a prorated salary of $90,000.
Okay, I'll second. Questions or comments from board members? Okay, I would like to comment. I've gotten to interact with Matt a few times now, and he's not short on passion for the new programs, the new writing program and reading program, and I think he's going to step into Stephanie Washam's shoes very nicely. You can just, along with the teachers and the students, you can hear the passion in his voice and the knowledge and experience that he brings to this position. So thank you very much. And we look forward to working with you and witnessing all of what you're going to accomplish with those programs. I can't even see it through the big board, but
Right back. Very excited.
Any other questions or comments from board members? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next motion is to approve agreement between Pennridge School District and employee number 2423.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Kraus. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
And our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 7th, 2019.
Thank you, Mrs. Walters. And the next committee is policy. Ms. Kildare?
Hello. Looks like we have a review for our policy for our first reading. It's a motion to approve the first reading policy number 808.
Thank you. I'll second. Questions or comments from board members? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 8-0.
The next meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 7th.
Thank you. And technology, Mr. Kraus?
Thank you. The Technology Committee did not meet in November. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 10th in the DAO, in the district office.
Thank you. And Act 48, Mrs. Walters?
You skipped that,
Sorry, I scrolled a little too fast. The next committee, Upper Bucks County Technical School, Dr. Yarnell.
That's all right, I have little to report. The agenda is not quite accurate. The board at the JOC was intended to meet on the November 15th. For those of you who remember, that happened to be a closure of school due to inclement weather. So the committee meeting was not held, almost unprecedented from my recollection. It's rare that we end up with a cancellation at the Upper Bucks County Technical School. There was a request to vote on the comprehensive plan by telephone or through email. I don't know what the results of that are. I presume it passed, but I have not heard. So the next meeting will occur on, pending weather, of course, on December 20th, 2018.
Thank you, Dr. Yarnell. And now Act 48, Mrs. Walters.
All right, the Act 48 committee met on November 1st. We reviewed the purpose of the Act 48 committee. We also talked about the district comprehensive plan timeline and provided input for the draft of the 2018-2019 calendar. We are scheduled to meet again on Thursday, January 17th.
Thank you. And the Pennridge Area Coordinating Committee, Ms. Thompson and Ms. Kildare.
The Pennridge Area Coordinating Committee met on Thursday, October 25th at the Pennridge Community Center. Municipalities represented were either in person or gave a report that those municipalities were Silverdale Borough, East Rock Hill Township, West Rock Hill Township, Dublin Borough, Bedminster Township, Sellersville Borough, and we had 11 attending, just saying. It's a great turnout. So from the school district was myself, Dr. Bolton, and Ms. Kildare. The meeting was facilitated by Jim Miller of West Rock Hill Township. New updates were offered by Sellersville Borough. The updates from the other municipalities were reported at our last school board meeting. For the Sellersville Borough update from manager Dave Rubette, we received some information about the bridges in Sellersville, which is what mostly everybody's very concerned about. The PennDOT bridge replacement project currently underway, which is the one closest by the fire hall, is on track. I know a lot of people think it's not on track. It's on track. So it's on track, and it is although they didn't beat out the one in Percy, and that was really wonderful. They had that great bridge opening. But this was going to be completed by the end of April, but it is slated to be up to about May 2019. So they give themselves a window. So it is on track. The next PennDOT bridge project, unfortunately, is right behind it, and that is to rehabilitate the bridge carrying North Main Street over the SEPTA tracks at St. Michael's Church. That rehab project is expected to start around the time that the Fire Hall Bridge is completed, so one piggyback right off the other. And it's expected to be closed to traffic for only a year, so that's good news. Also, the most important thing, I'm sure you'll agree, is that tomorrow is Winterfest in Sellersville Borough. The 20th annual Sellersville Winterfest celebration is held right in town. It begins with a tree lighting ceremony at 6:30 p.m. at Sellersville Fire Hall at 2 North Main Street, Sellersville. Santa Claus is scheduled to arrive at the fire hall at 6:45 p.m. Trolley rides begin at 7 p.m. and those are free. Participating businesses and churches will have activities at their locations, and often they hand out little free treats for the kids and families. So you're encouraged to attend. We would love to see you there. Actually, my business will be open during that time. So we are located at the Bucks Mill Perkiomen at the Perkiomen Creek, which is where the cafe at the mill is located. I'll be on the 3rd floor with a lot of candy, so please come. So that is our report from Sellersville Borough. Dublin Borough wanted to report that their 2019 budget is slated to be approved next week. The borough forecasted approximately $4.4 million that they had to borrow with a repayment over a 20-year period. Now, if that budget is adopted, obviously the result will be an increase in property taxes and sewer rates. So I guess this is a very good timing that the school district voted not to increase those school district taxes for those Dublin Borough residents. I'm sure that will make them a little happy, considering their increase is upcoming. Dublin has several projects on the horizon, including paving projects at Meadow Lane, Meadow Circle, Rickards Road, Hilltown side of 313, Mill Street, and Percy Drive. And their capital projects include relining of the lagoon at the sewer plant, improvements to Kern Drive Interceptor, Twin Oaks Pump Station, and sewer treatment plants. And the borough has published their budget, and all of their capital projects are extensively listed on their website. So if you're interested in that, please just check out their website. From the school district, Dr. Bolton was our star attendee. Everybody wanted to meet Dr. Bolton. So he came and presented our comprehensive plan, and especially highlighted the Prepare All Students for the College and Career and Citizenship, I'm tongue twisted tonight, citizenship readiness of that comprehensive plan in relation to the mutually beneficial opportunities upcoming for the students that could possibly partner with community businesses in the pathways part of that curriculum. So that was basically our meeting. We met for about an hour and a half, and our next meeting will be determined as needed. Thank you.
Okay, the next committee report is the Pennridge Community Education Foundation. Mrs. Cullen?
You might think I wouldn't have anything to say after the presentation, but I do. We met on Saturday, as Joe mentioned, and two of the things that I wanted to mention is we're going to try to make connections with other school districts that have education foundations, to get together with them and hear their ideas, maybe find out some things that we could try. And Sandy Kramer, she came to the meeting. She's one of our new parent representatives. And Becky Schlatter, that was here, they're going to work together to reach out to parent groups around the district to get the Education Foundation's name out there and get more support. And then the next meeting will be on January 5th at 8:30.
Thank you. Old business? New business? Okay, then we're back to questions and comments from guests. Questions and comments from the press? I don't see any. Okay. Announcements. An executive session was held November 12th, 2018, and following tonight's meeting to discuss personnel matters. The next school board meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 21st, 2019. Oh, and I'm sorry, that's actually a typo. It's January 28th. So we will update that in the system. And I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.